gentlemen, boys and girls, sports fans around the world, it is a very special episode of the Millie Goats. We have no football this week, but we do have a special guest who we will get to in a minute. It is episode, keep it 100.
100.
100. It is National Backward Day. A question that I asked earlier was, could you moonwalk backwards? That's a question that I would love somebody to answer.
Isn't that just walking forward?
It could be. So if you're just walking along, you're moonwalking today. Congratulations. I am AK, your co-host. With me as always, J-Vi, Butch P, and Tex, a special edition. We do not have draft. Well, we have golf, but this is an episode that we've been wanting to do for a long time. One of our very own. Our guy. I don't know if we want to bring him to the stage yet. A man who needs no introduction.
We'll bring him in.
We're going to give him an introduction. Mr. Dan, the Anchor Kilgore. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, fellas? Thank you for having me.
How about that, huh? How about that? Dan Kilgore played football at App State with us, me and J-Vi. Our roots go back deep. He is an AFC and NFC champion, 2-time Super Bowl participant, player, whatever you want to call it, 10 years in the league, always a star on camera on the Super Bowl. He has lots of action shots where he's kind of standing looking at the flag or the flyover, or he's got caught when the lights went out.
Always from the back, too. He knows what he's doing.
He pulls the old Jerry Jones, hey, camera guy, come over here.
Yeah. There's the camera. Let me just go stand over here.
Put my name on the back there. Hey, that's me.
He grills with aluminum foil. Kirk Cousins, watch out. Alleged best man expert, claims Tennessee barbecue is superior to North Carolina, which we say
False.
Absolutely not. Won't be happening. Defend yourself.
Well, I was a participant in the Super Bowl. I didn't start in the Super Bowl, so I'm 0 for 2. You're exactly right. I'm not a winner. I grilled with aluminum foil one time. And the one time was when we had the pancake expert here at my house, AK, with the flattest crepes I've ever seen that he called pancakes.
It was a piece of paper is what it was.
It was just a weekend of debauchery, and it was just. I'm just glad my playroom is in one piece after AK.
After I stayed there.
And
I think my wife was there.
Best man expert for sure. We have pictures to prove this in everybody's wedding that I was able to be in and attend. Sorry, Tex. And Tennessee barbecue. Yeah. Tennessee barbecue is good. It is. And I don't I'm a barbecue fan. I don't discriminate. I love all the barbecues in Carolina, the vinegar, the hickory smoke base, the ketchup base, whatever. I love it all. My favorite.
Can you please slam dunk on Edge and say mustard barbecue stinks?
I'm a fan of that too.
No, you're not.
He's a lineman. He eats everything.
I eat everything. And my favorite was going to Lexington barbecue and asking what the fish of the day was. That was. I really dude. I got Butch so good with that.
What's the fish du jour, Flo?
even the waitress is like, absolutely not. No, we're not doing that.
She went back and said, "Do we have fish?"
Yeah.
The fish du jour.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of people watching. This is a live show. I'm sure questions are going to be coming in from. This is one from That's My Sports podcast. Favorite QB to play favorite QB to be under center for, or QB under you. Would that be you?
Hey, you went under center with the QB?
Hey.
Under center.
Take your hand off.
You hike it to yourself.
National Backwards Day.
Yes.
Favorite quarterback. Let's see. Man, I had so many. Honestly.
Dirty boy.
10 years. Yeah, a lot of knuckles back there. Dude.
The kid, there's a kid show.
The shirt.
The old fist.
Hey kids, if you want to get a snap that QB and center exchange, make sure that middle knuckle is where the center doesn't want it.
You got to feel it. You got to feel it.
You got to find the slot. Find the slot. Find the open
Alex
foot.
Smith. Let's just name them. Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick, Blaine Gabbert, C.J. Beathard, Brian Hoyer, Jimmy G, Josh Rosen.
Yeah, still looking for his playbook.
With or without the playbook?
He definitely did not have his playbook. I'm sure I'm missing a few. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tannehill.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Tannehill.
Chad Henne. And then
Tua.
Tua. No, I didn't. I wasn't with Tua. And then obviously Mahomes. So yeah.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
That's actually how Lefty felt.
we definitely.
Did you say Henne?
Yeah, Chad Henne.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad.
He's got to be the favorite, right?
Man, I still text him every year on September 1st. Happy anniversary.
As you should.
And he's just like, man, wow, thank you. And his profile picture is the scoreboard in Michigan. So,
oh my, you gotta love it. He's leaned into him. Hey, look who's here.
No, Chad and I really do like Chad. He's the man. We would sit on the plane together sometimes, and he's funny, man. But they're all like, every one of them. Blaine he's my guy. You all know that. And then Fitzpatrick, he's a G too. He's awesome. I mean, they're all in their own right. They're really good guys. Alex Smith, he's probably the most down to earth, most humble human being ever. So yeah, there's a lot of those guys that I love and still communicate with.
Dude, I'll have to say, Fitzpatrick's Christmas gift to you guys, probably all time hilarious.
Dude, and he does that for all of his offensive linemen that play for him. Like Yeti, he would give us the Yeti cooler, right? And so when he started doing that, he had Yeti just keep that template, and he would just email them how many he needed each year, and they would just send him the same size Yeti with the same picture.
Oh my god!
And I'm just like, it wasn't until the year in Miami that when we were together, and I got my gift from him, I was like, man, this is too cool. Like, I need you to sign this. And he's like, I've never signed these before, so this is perfect. So.
Way to be a pioneer, dude.
Absolutely.
So we all, J-Vi, you and I played at App State. Tex, Butch, we all went to App State. We hung out a lot. Obviously, that's the college we went to. The first time we ever met was over a song of Justin Moore. That was we were at J-Vi's house. We were at J-Vi's house, and I played Small Town USA. And here comes Kilgore barreling around the corner. He goes, "Who played this?" And it was me, like this.
Dude.
Me. And then right there, we insert Lonely Island song. We locked eyes from across the room, downed our drinks as the rhythm boomed.
Yes, we were all hanging out in the living room, and of course, AK is in a bedroom by himself, just jamming out the music, sitting there at the desk, crying.
3 songs on repeat.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I was a Justin Moore fan in high school. And I was just like, I heard that. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Who is playing this right now? And I think that was the first time that I even hung out with you guys. And after that point, I just knew.
As friends, you hung out with us before, but it was like you were too cool for us.
No, I wasn't cool. I wasn't cool at all. Remember,
when you would show up with the other offensive linemen and try to destroy the house, throwing garbage bags over the roof.
Yeah, I did do that.
Throwing the washer and dryer down the hill.
What I did?
You cleaned out the cabinets.
You're like Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes picking on Justin Tucker. You're just like trying to be a big boy.
No. Yeah, right. I stuck around though.
It was, dude. What I mean,
we won you over.
Anybody who's played college football knows it's offensive line, kickers, specialists always get along. That's the rules.
Yeah,
always has been.
Well, I'll be honest. I was able to talk junk to a lot more people knowing that you were behind me.
You and
And
Maroon.
that if things escalated, I had somebody backing me up.
Dude, you're exactly right. It was I mean, you were my guys, and I would still hang out with the offense line, but like I knew like they were too much at times. Like at least like it was all good fun with you guys. They would just take it to another level. Like
Dude, the worst I'm going to do is play the same song 40 times in a row and just fall asleep,
fall asleep and leave a mess wherever you did fall asleep at.
That was consistent. Okay,
yeah.
let me break the ice here.
AK has to read this, or else he just can't. He won't be able to move on.
Do you believe in second chances? Say your quarterback say you got a quarterback that's down, that turns the ball over early in the game, but then in the second half, he comes alive and totally redeems himself. And he's playing on the road, so he's not really in his home environment, but yet he's always been consistent when he has to deliver. So I just want to show you guys something right here, that this right here is a pancake that I made to prove to everybody before you jabronis started ragging on me about my pancake debacle while I was on the road.
Can we see the thickness of it?
Look at this.
Oh, that's way
look
too
at this
thick.
pancake. So look at that. It's weighted. Look at the bottom. Brown.
I don't know, Jim. I don't know.
Well, it's a little thin. Little thin. The trick is the butter. You got to have enough butter on there. That's the trick.
Those ingredients you gave me were you did something. You tampered with the ingredients. I'm sure of it.
It was the altitude.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
You should
to answer your question, yes, second chances. Yeah, I thought you were going the Purdy route, being a San Fran fan.
Yeah,
I knew I was going to get you with that.
But then you said away team. But yeah, I mean, definitely, I played with some guys who definitely redeemed themselves in the second half.
The real question is, how many pancakes did he make to get that one?
No.
Oh, he definitely. Or how many?
That was not the first pancake.
No. And Brooke probably made that one for him.
She came in, she goes, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I have to get him. They don't know what's coming for him. I'm about to get him." Why are you making pancakes at 9:00? I said, I got to redeem myself before they soil my pancake. That's what I'm saying. Backwards day. Anyways. All right. Okay. So we got a lot to get to here. Actually, we don't really know where this is going to go. We have some framework. We're going to play our games like we usually do in the beginning. And then we have a whole bunch of questions we're going to ask you. And we've kind of given you a script, so you're not going to be hit from left field, but maybe we got a few in the chamber you didn't know about. Obviously we're going to talk football. So, but the first thing we usually do is we do a water cooler debate.
Ready?
And everybody knows what the water cooler debate. Are we doing the music?
Yeah, of course.
Are you serious?
Oh my gosh, you're an idiot. Are you kidding me?
Okay, water cooler debate. We come up with a topic. We debate that topic. We put it on Twitter. People vote on it. And then we declare a winner and we hang banners. You are going to join us for this because this is a very relevant water cooler debate. But first, the dad joke. Everybody ready?
Yes.
He told me to monitor my bowels the other day. Told me to keep it diarrhea.
All right.
Attaboy.
Oh no!
Attaboy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Made a mess out of that.
Oh man. Okay. Last week's was momentum changer. Goat momentum changer. Chug a beer won. Butch P. Congratulations. 34% of the vote. Do you have a momentum changer, Kilgore? When the chips are down, how do you change the momentum? I mean, you're in a totally different world now. Watch it.
I would say power nap.
Changes the momentum.
Yeah.
Sleep it off till tomorrow.
Or it's over. You didn't know what happened, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Exactly. Just wake up. It's a brand new day.
Oh my gosh, I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I was going to say smelling salts.
Yes, no, that's supposed to be a good one. Yeah, a little safety nap. Like we're all dads now,
Yes.
except for Butch P. Yet,
Dog
and
dad.
so like
All due respect.
you're tired, and you lay down, put the kids to bed, and you take a little power nap. Next thing you know, you're up at 9 o'clock. You're ready to go. That's what happens
Yeah.
tonight. So
Yeah.
ready to go.
I'm honestly shocked that Chug a Beer won during dry January.
Wow. Which that's well, maybe he caught people that were vulnerable.
Ooh.
Is February the comeback month?
What'd you say before the show, Butch P?
Kids show. You can
Feel good
imagine
February.
everything that rhymes with buck.
Oh man. All right.
So I get to hang a banner, right?
You get to hang a banner. You get to take a victory lap if you'd like.
I made a banner for this. Can you see it?
David.
There.
David.
That's my banner, David Banner.
Kilgore's dad.
For those of you watching or listening on the podcast, Butch P just held up a notebook sheet with the word David on it. So that was good. David Banner. Okay. This week's question. Everybody prepare your answers. Usually we'll let the guests go first. Gore, do you want to go first or do you want one of us? I mean, it's up to you, dude.
Yeah. What's the question?
Here it is. Water cooler debate. What is the GOAT piece of attire that's an absolute must under your pads and your uniform or uniform?
Okay, I can go first. Yeah. Depends on where you're playing. Because in Miami, your boy wore nothing underneath.
Even under the white.
Dude, I promise you. Like, of course, when I was later on in my career, I was the old guy, right? So, like, it was jockstrap and pants. And then underneath the shoulder pads, it was nothing. It was so hot down there. I couldn't, like, the jerseys are already so tight. If I had another layer on, you were dead. I mean, it would be 110 degrees in the stadium and 150 on the field. It was miserable. But yeah, it depends on where you're playing at. I was a no shirt guy, and then if you're playing in cold weather, it'd be like a compression cutoff. That's it.
You didn't wear any shirt under your pads?
No, absolutely not.
Huh. When did you make that switch?
When I got to Miami.
Oh, okay.
When it was as hot as it
I always wondered
was every day.
I feel like it'd rub my boobies raw.
Yeah, you build up a callus. That's all.
Callus in those babies down there.
like that was one thing, my wife and I had in common at that time. She had just had our first daughter
with a callous nipples.
Y'all compare. Your wife's gonna kill her.
What'd you say? I know what you're going through. Look at these.
Oh yeah.
look like a couple of Sour Patch Kids down here. Look at how rough those babies are.
Yeah, where's that Destin, honey? Oh, I've already put it on her. No, I need it for my nips right now.
Man.
So
nothing. Aquaphor.
Nothing is the answer.
Nothing. Yeah, for me, it's nothing. Absolutely, just skin on pads. That's it.
All natural.
Skin to skin, dude.
Yeah. Skin to skin.
The evolution and the arc. Always. Tex, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I always wore a cut off sleeve, cut off midriff.
Dude, that's bull crap.
High school
bull crap.
High school shirt.
High school.
When I played in college, I had the same shirt. I just cut it off at the midriff, cut off the sleeves, the whole way. So that way I was feeling loose, feeling fast as I could be.
That's bull crap, dude. That was
Why
mine.
is that bull crap?
That was mine.
You were basically
I went first.
Doug Whitmore, the brother from 51st Dates.
Yeah, that's me.
What?
That's me. Out there with my jersey on and nothing underneath every day.
That is a swagger look, though. Oh, there he is. Yeah. How did you pull that up so fast? That's a swagger look, though.
Okay?
All the girls, all the sorority girls wearing that now can thank Tex.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just like that. That's how I was
Oh,
doing.
no.
I bet he
Here you
wore
go.
that weight belt too.
BMO from the top rope. Under your cheer uniform. Airplane models.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Airplane
Okay. J-Bye.
Dude, I was always a three-quarter athletic
You were.
Nike guy. It didn't matter if it was cold, hot, whatever. I was three-quarters. I was consistent. I was no tights under the pants. Kilgore can vouch for me. Every game, I would put both my legs through the bottom holes of my pants, and I'd have to waddle over to the offensive lineman. They'd have to pull my pants up for me because they were so tight. And they would get me off the ground. They would pull me so hard. But as far as like consistency under it, three-quarters, cold, hot, whatever. If it was cold, I'd wear a jacket on the sidelines or sweatpants, for my legs, which got caught on fire. I don't know if you've heard that story. But three-quarter arms.
Do you remember that?
I still have those, by the way. I actually put it on the other day because I was cleaning out my drawers. I still had it. And I put it on. It was like disintegrated in the back because it just been sitting for so long. My wife's like, "You gonna throw that out?" I was like, "No, can't do that.
Never. I'll cremate it before I throw it out. Put it on the shelf."
You
remember that when he set his pants on fire?
I do remember that. Yeah.
It's like the worst 5 minutes of my life. I got to tell that story the other day because we're working on this doc, and guy I work with, he has all the films from back when we played. So like they're transcribing them all, putting them all, digitizing them, and the Montana game was on. And so like I watched that game basically in full, and I was like, oh man, wish you could have seen the flame over there on the sideline when my pants caught on fire.
How awesome was that Montana game though?
Oh my gosh.
It was the best experience
Atmosphere.
that we had in college. I mean, I don't know what you
so
did in
cool.
NFL, but
yeah, no, it was unbelievable. Yeah, that was really cool.
y'all didn't wear sleeves during that game.
No.
AK
Tried,
didn't either.
Y'all wouldn't. You just kept pouring Vaseline on me.
I didn't either.
Tried to.
I was back home in the snow.
Oh man. All right. Which P you want to go next?
Dude, yeah, I'm gonna say I'd wear a piece of inspiring like quote or something that you could always look at.
Iron sharpens iron.
Dude, yeah.
You write it on your taped wrist?
Exactly. Like I don't know what I'd say, but if you're reading this, you're getting toast.
You put that on your back flap?
If you could read this, flip over.
Yeah. Dude, mine was just a sleeveless dry fit. Always wore the sleeveless dry fit. Actually, it was like a quarter sleeve. Came over a little bit of the show. Because it would make my arms pop, dude. You had to get the right angle on the cut. You get it up a little high. Sometimes it'll show off the trap. And then you're walking around pregame, just like me, not doing anything, but just walking around pregame, and then just standing there in the game. But I felt good.
It was that white one with the old school letters on it.
Yep, the old App State one, the Russell Athletic.
Yeah.
It was Russell Athletic.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
All right.
That was back when they literally gave us a Russell T-shirt and shorts and a pair of shoes. That was it.
Dude, we had to turn in our travel gear at the end of the year.
Never did
shorts
that.
without pockets.
I did. Well, I'm a rule follower.
Yeah, shorts without pockets. And there's a myth to that because even Jim Harbaugh would do that. Shorts without pockets. And his whole thing was like if we were practicing in shorts and like the DBs were grabbing at the receivers and yanking and they caught like their finger in the short, pulling the receivers, it would like pull their hamstrings or something like that. He would always
think that.
It's
a Jim.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. In flag, they don't let you do it either. You have to wear pocketless pants in flag football, even at youth level.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
So it carries on.
Oh, Jim Harbaugh.
I love
there in California.
Pocketed short.
Do you still have any? I remember you used to send you'd send me a when you got. We'll get into that, but all All right, we're gonna get into story time, personal questions, all that stuff. So I don't know if you did that as a joke, but I'm gonna bring it up in a second. The GOAT uniform under your pads uniform attire, we had nothing. We had a midriff high school linebacker shirt, 3/4 sleeves, quarter sleeves, and motivational quotes. Which P. So, all right, we got our music. Hit our theme music for the next. This is story time, folks. We're going to talk everything football.
Football, you're so cool.
And on our show, you're going to rule. Football, we love you. Wow. Signed into a record deal. The original. We'll get you on the next one, dude. We'll get you on the next one. Okay, story time, personal question time. We've listed a bunch of different questions. I'm going to go first. Out of our group, who's your best friend? No pressure.
And before you need to tell them why you picked me, I'm your biggest fan, even bigger than that fan over top of your head right now.
That's right.
That was the motivational quote. He wore under his jersey. I'm your biggest. He's going to pull up his shirt.
Big ass fan.
He's a
No
big
free
ass
shout outs.
Oh,
I don't have a best friend out of this group. I don't know, because it's like we're all in the dad phase of life, and where I live away from all of you all. You guys are in North Carolina. I'm in Tennessee. It's like I definitely talked to Virus and Kasuf, aka more than most. I talked to Quags quite a bit and Edge. I've talked to probably BMO the least. I guess he's too good.
He is.
No, well, when I came into the group, he was already he was on his way out from App too. So that was like really the
Two
first
ships
time
passing in the wind.
Yeah, really the first time that I hung out with BMO over a weekend was the weekend at his wedding. The wedding that I did not make.
What a performance you put on that weekend.
First impression,
Hey.
you only get one chance.
Dude, I let everybody down. But no, I'd probably talk to Virus and AK the most. And I mean, you guys, I hung out with Tex. We hung out alone out in San Fran a little bit, and then everybody made trips up there. So, but like, yeah, I feel like as a group, we all did everything together.
Yeah, me and Tex still talk about that time that you put us beside Revolution in the crowd. That was a fun game.
Yeah,
that was a fun time. I'll say that. We'll just leave it at that. But that was a fun time. The fun experience.
That was in the old Candlesticks.
Yes,
we were way up
Oh
there,
my
and it was
gosh.
it was wild, man. That was
Candlestick had a very distinct
Unique
aroma
smell. Yes.
in the stadium.
Hey, let me do this then. Let's talk. You said you live in Tennessee, so you're from Johnson City, and I know that it really blew up after Darius Rucker sang that song about it. So talk about what that city means to you.
I'm from the Tri-City area of Northeast Tennessee. I'm from Kingsport, born and raised. And Johnson City is one of these cities in the Tri-City area. Yes. I live right behind the airport here in the middle of all three cities, Kingsport, Bristol, and Johnson City. And so Darius Rucker, definitely, he put out the latest version of a Bob Dylan song, Wagon Wheel. And it's a good place to live. We're right here close to Boone, about an hour and 20 minutes. We're in the valley of the Blue Ridge Mountains, and the land of no state income tax, which is nice. But if you have any vices, any alcohol or lottery or anything like that, but you're going to get taxed on that. No, it's a good place. This is where my family and we call home, so we're back here. But yeah, it's a good spot.
I didn't know where he was going with that question when I saw Johnson City, but that was hilarious. And I will attest too. When I went into the gas station to buy a Miller Lite, like a case of Miller Lite, I handed the guy like a $50 bill, and he gave me like $6 change. I was like, "You realize I handed you a 50, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." I was like, "What is this? What kind of operation are you running here? I just get hustled? Am I punked?"
Yeah, the gas station and Bojangles, they'll get you. They'll get you in Tennessee.
Bojangles will get you there.
The
You want to tell that story?
Yeah, I'll tell that story. You idiots. We go to Bojangles the morning of my wedding. J-Vi is in one of the bridesmaids' robes that my wife got him specifically.
Yeah, specify. My wife listens to this show.
And let's just say we were dragging that morning, and the closest thing breakfast-wise was the Bojangles. So we go to Bojangles and we load up on biscuits and whatever else, hash browns and Bowberry biscuits. But here's J-Vi and AK ordering all the food, and I hand them $100 bill, and they bring back a 20. That was it. They got $80 worth of Bojangles, and all the Boy Scouts are looking at us because J-Vi's wearing a pink robe and nothing underneath it. And I'm just like, man, this is the most awkward situation ever.
I think I had swim trunks on and loafers.
You look like Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation.
J-Vi, what'd you look at him and say? I ate a brownie?
Yeah. Man, I mean, you just look at the whole crew that struggled in that morning. I was on a knee scooter. I didn't even walk at my wedding.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So we were just like, man, we look terrible. And I'm sure Bojangles was like, we've seen worse. But, it was a good time.
We came back carrying these giant we had like 3 tailgate specials. And we handed you the 20, and you're like, what?
Hey, we didn't go hungry. That's for sure.
We didn't.
Nope.
I think I ate it later that night. It was probably a terrible idea. Okay. Tex, you have a question?
Yes. I've been to multiple racetracks throughout my life, and I think, given my handful of times I've been to Bristol, it's the best track in the country, because that's like where the original NASCAR fan still goes to be an original NASCAR fan. So, do you agree or disagree that is the best track in the country?
I don't know if it's the best track in the country, but it's going to be top 3 experiences as far as a NASCAR fan experience for sure.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the most authentic NASCAR experiences that you can still go to, and it's a short track too. And they used to do. They've changed the surface. I think they're going back to the concrete this year, concrete races. And then they did a dirt race a few times, and the fall races underneath the lights. So it's a good time inside the track. It's a huge stadium, 150,000 people, whatever. I mean, it's massive. It's really big. But the tailgates and the camping experience the whole weekend, I mean, it's a good time. It's a good party. But there's also, like, just to make the people at Bristol and knowing some of the people who work at Bristol and at the track, they're just really good people, and they just want more and more people to show up and have a good time. Like, it's not like there is structure to it, but it's like kind of like you're just like able to do whatever within the Bristol racetrack property, and it's just a good time. And I would say Talladega's probably up there too. Daytona, obviously, because it's one of the biggest, and you can still camp out down in the pit. So, no, it's
Didn't you
it's
drop
a great
a flag
atmosphere.
somewhere?
Yeah, back in 2012, I dropped the green flag at the spring race here in Bristol, and that was a fun weekend. Being able to camp out up on the drag strip and meet a lot of people. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that drag strip was awesome.
I'm not like a huge follower of NASCAR. I definitely know who drivers are, and I don't sit down every Sunday and watch it, but anytime that the race is going on, definitely try to get over there and camp out. And the last few races, I've hosted a couple buddies I played with in Kansas City. They came in and we'd camp out over the weekend. So yeah, it's a good time for sure.
I love NASCAR races; they're the best. Which B? Question. If not, I'm ready to go.
Go ahead.
Hypothetically, say you had friends fly out to San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Where is a nice establishment that you would take them to eat when they fly out there?
I took Tex there. It's the House of Prime Rib.
Oh yeah,
hands down. Oh my goodness, man.
That place is awesome.
I went there with you and Swag.
Yeah, it's literally like, of course, I've not been to the city in a few years, but it's still around. We just had friends go out and visit Napa and sent them to the House of Prime Rib. I mean, it's one of the most authentic, old restaurants within the city that it's just an unbelievable experience, and the food is unbelievable. If you like prime rib, man, it's perfect. It's so good, and it's old school. Like, it's almost like you're in a Godfather movie, but it's pretty awesome. That's where I would take you, is the House of Prime Rib for sure.
Where'd you take me and Jay? Remember we went out there?
I think.
Yeah. But you picked us up in the Nova.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I think when the first time you guys came out there, we went to Hooters, I think.
Yeah, and I bought. You were trying to big baller us, and I paid for the whole bill. We had like $300 worth of wings and beer. And
That's right.
And you were like, what do you? I wasn't going to pay for that.
But
yeah, I try to make it. I try to make it like as like, I don't know. I tried to host.
Yeah, you did a good job. I know what you're doing.
I try to make it as easy for you guys as possible. And it wasn't just you guys. Like, Boomer came out there, Ferg and his wife came out there. Swag came out there all the time. So no, I would definitely, if you were willing and able to like make the 6-hour flight out there, I was going to make sure that you were taken care of.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, definitely felt it.
Oh yeah, so
you took me and Swag to Taco Bell.
That is true.
Swag ordered about the whole menu, though.
we also rode around we rode around in an Impala 200, not even a 300, Impala 200 for like 6 hours up the coast, and J-Bye sitting in the middle.
You want to talk about the worst trips of my life? Oh my goodness gracious! Swag and Kilgore sat in they drove and sat in the front on the way out there, which was fine. I was
two big dudes.
Yeah, I was in the back between the wives, completely fine. Well, on the way home, we had a little too much to drink, so the wives drove home and sat in the front. So it was Kilgore at one window, Swag at the other window, and me in the middle. You want to talk about, like, my knees weren't just touching; they were like one knee, because that's how much room I didn't have any room. It was the worst 6 hours of my life.
It was awful. Dude. That was a fun trip. That's when we were at Megan and I were living in the apartment, and we went to the sauna and sat in the sauna for like 45 minutes, just having some beers and the sweating, and J-Bye was literally about to die. He was, you know how redheads are in the heat and stuff. He literally, he was ready to die.
Look, speaking of San Francisco, though, here's where I'm going. The Niners ruined us having Taylor T. Swift versus Eminem for the Super Bowl.
Oh,
so who are the Niners throwing out there to fight T. Swift? They go on E40. They go on Facebook. Who are they? What big gun are they throwing out there to fight the Swifties?
Maybe the band Journey.
Oh, Journey. They sparked the halftime rally. Don't stop believing.
Yeah, that was probably one of the coolest experiences too. You guys, were you there for the last Candlestick game, or was that Swag? I think it was Swag.
I don't know. We were there for one of the NFC Championship games.
But they, like, the last game, in Candlestick. They already had determined that they were going to build a new stadium, Levi's in Santa Clara. Everybody stayed in the stadium, and at the end of the game, they played "When the Lights Go Down in the City" by Journey. That was a cool, like all the team. We came back out on the field. It was the neatest thing ever. But yeah, Journey's probably going to compete with Taylor or E40. E40 is a Bay Area.
Dude, gotta be E40. E40, gotta be E40. All right,
Absolutely.
The only other question I had was, why can't you decide on a truck brand, dude? Why don't you get Die Hard on one? Come on, Dodge Ram in college, Chevy for like 8 years, and then now you have a Ford.
Listen,
what is that all about?
Every car that I have bought, I still have. Yeah, the Dodge in college, it had some really good whoppers on there.
You son of a gun, dude.
But that was my dad's, and like even still to this day, he talks about letting me drive that over. He regrets that decision.
Because you let people like us drive it, like
yeah. And you remember I had the camper top on the back, and like I was injured one time, and I had that handicap sticker, and I would shuttle everybody up the hill to practice. And then I bought the Nova my rookie year off Craigslist, and I was thinking this is a great investment. I still have that car, and my father-in-law redid it, but I can remember that car breaking down all the time. Like even going to the stadium on game day one morning, I had Kaepernick in the passenger seat, and it wouldn't start, and I was just like, sweet.
Dude, that traffic's terrible, dude.
I didn't know you bought that on Craigslist.
I bought it off Craigslist for like $5,000. And then after that season, I shipped it back home, and I was like, I need to buy something that's dependable and that will start. And so I bought the Chevy, and I still have it. And then for the retirement gift to myself, I did buy a new Ford King Ranch. So I must say, the King Ranch is the nicest and newest truck that I've ever had, and I'm just going to roll with it for a long time, probably the rest of my life.
I was about to say, geez, that thing might last you forever.
Dude, I'll never forget college one time. You let me borrow the truck, or I don't know what it was. Me and Quags, I think, and the wind, and it was snowing, like legit snowing, and the windshield wipers weren't working. And so Quags and I are looking like Ace Ventura going down Highway 421 with our heads out in the middle of a blizzard.
Yeah. But then you think about the Chevy and all the great memories we have with the Chevy going to Mario's wedding.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And Butch drove us back home. Oh my gosh.
The greatest wedding entrance I've ever seen.
Dude, that was the best. And Virus had the best front door at that place in the Cove.
That was me in
Busted
Texas.
Oh,
yeah.
That's when
we got our deposit back. We fixed it.
Edge and AK were wrestling in the kitchen, and they pinned it on you.
Yes. Yeah, that blamed it on me.
That wedding, I believe, was the night before Tex left for Oregon for a year. And he left like a pair of shoes, like one pair of shoes, like just a shoe or something. We had to ship him a shoe.
Yeah. You guys used my bar tab that night too.
Yeah.
It was like a $500 bar tab.
You're welcome. You were the only one with like a legit job.
I know I was. You're welcome.
Absolutely.
Oh man, that's incredible.
I just remember at that wedding, the preacher was like, "Everybody bow your heads," and I don't know who Kilgore was sitting beside, but he just gave him a big slap on the back, and the guy looked at him and he took a selfie. I was like, "Dude, they're praying."
We had that picture here recently of us walking up.
Oh yeah, that was epic. Walking up, and everybody, we were like 10 minutes late to the wedding. Everybody's just looking at us, and we're just like, we walked in a straight line, arms are locked. Like it was so.
That was the only way we could walk.
Yeah. Well, everybody was looking the opposite way we were coming in, and then everybody turned around, and it's us arm locked right there, basically stopping the wedding.
And then
walking down the aisle. Holy smokes.
Dude, I took it. You remember the DJ? Like I kept trying to get the DJ to let me play music, and I even took selfies with the DJ too. I have that phone still. I should bring up some of those pictures back.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
What about who was it that you were sitting beside? Somebody you were sitting beside to like talk your ears off. Like,
It's probably the guy I
entire time.
smacked.
That's right. Like
I
during the whole
guarantee-
entire sermon, he was just
Yeah,
nah.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, dude, we're at a wedding.
it was probably Brett. It was probably BMO, honestly.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh.
that's the weddings. Yeah,
Yes.
that was a fun one.
It-
But that truck
Oh,
got us all there and got us back.
It did.
It's still here. The silver bullet.
Hey.
Yes. With the App State in the mud tires.
here's
Let's
a
go,
picture
baby.
from a wedding.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's at Butch's wedding.
That's a butcher's wedding.
in my birthday party.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
And I still regret missing Butch's wedding for the football game that I had to coach. That was, but I made a commitment, and I told Megan, I said,
No, that's
I got to
Team-
do that.
Team first, dude. We're still gonna rip
Yeah,
everybody
team.
out any chance we
Hey,
get.
I'll go on
You
record.
won though. You won.
I'll go on record. We all knew that you would do that, and we
Ooh.
respected it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But we're more
Because we did-
upset that Megan didn't come
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, Megan,
because she should have still come.
Oh, yeah.
She-
After
she-
our, I thought we were like this after y'all's wedding.
yeah, you
I mean-
basically were. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
literally,
I mean,
I wasn't going to perform like you on you.
This kid
Butch had that avatar ponytail he was trying to connect everybody to.
Hey. I looked at my watch and I told her it was this.
Oh.
It was
All right,
Butch
any-
and my brother-in-law competing on the dance floor. Like who's going to make everybody laugh? Like,
Oh, that's
people were
right,
just
I forgot
laughing at
about
Butch
that.
P because the ponytail. Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, Megan should have made the trip. She should have took one for a team
Yes.
player.
Any other questions from the personal, or do you have any stories or questions you want to tell?
Are you asking me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I mean, we have stories for days, guys.
I know.
My question is, how many times has Megan brought it up, if any? Like she's like, if you were still playing, I could have met T Swift.
Oh my gosh, dude! Don't even, dude. And like, here's the thing. My oldest daughter, she's 5 years old, and she's a Swiftie. Like we paid
What?
money to go watch. We paid money to go watch the movie, to watch her concert, and my girls were both dancing the whole time for 3 straight
Whoa.
hours. And so it's like, and having, like, being a part of those circles, and still friends with those people who are in that circle now. It's like Megan's like, man, I'm one person away from knowing Taylor Swift. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
Wait, follow-up question. Is she more mad that you retired and she didn't get to meet T Swift, or that she doesn't have a badass jersey jacket that Cusack's wife is dealing out to everybody?
So yeah, that's funny. So when Juice first came to San Fran from Baltimore, so he bought Justin Smith's old house, right? And Kristen and Megan hit it off. Kristen, Kittle's Claire Kittle, like she hit it off with those girls and still communicate with them. Vance McDonald was part of that crew. So all the wives, they all hung out, and those are awesome people. But Megan still communicates with Kristen Juszczyk, and like it's amazing what she started as a hobby and what she's doing now. Now she's got the license deal with NFL, and like Taylor Swift's wearing her gear, Patrick Swayze's wearing the gear, the werewolf from the movie, he's wearing the gear. What's his name? From
Hugh
the
Jackman.
Twilight.
Yeah, Twilight dude.
Yeah, the Twilight dude. He's wearing her gear now, so it's like
Chiefaholic.
It's crazy that it's took off, and like Megan's like so proud of her friend, like, and still like communicating with her, like just supporting her and just like, you know. But yeah, she would love to have a sweet jacket of which for Super Bowl would be cool to get one half and half, kind of like Kelsey's mom did the jerseys, but
yeah.
now she's legit and she's got a license, so I'm not paying for that jacket.
Let's move to football questions.
Yeah, I know we had the interview. I saw J-Vi's question intramurals. I think you have to admit live on air that we won that game.
It wasn't really a question. I was going to tell the story about it. You know,
you did not win the game.
Well, I think
I got the shirts. I got the shirt to prove it. Champs.
Out of town.
Hit it high and let it fly. That ball is still traveling.
It probably is.
I was gonna say, you know,
you've never
played
seen
in the NFL, and
You're
I've
right.
seen
I was out there. I tracked that thing.
You probably
down.
blew your quad out the first step.
you had to run from left center field to the not just the softball field behind
to Wilkesboro.
To the other one.
To Wilkesboro is right.
Bro, to get the ball that I hit. Literally, I launched this ball. I've never hit a ball further in my life, and I just laid it all. And now I will say I trotted around the bases a little too slow. It got close at home plate.
Because your boy out there with the howitzer put it on you.
It got
put it on you.
I got back from Wilkesboro.
Here's the thing, and I'll say this: we would have 10-run ruled you if Trey Hennessy could catch a fly ball.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Yeah.
Never seen a worse left fielder in my life.
We know Trey can't hold on to any ball, so
that was our own fault.
No,
we didn't know where to put it.
No.
I will say that ball that you hit was probably the farthest ball I've ever seen.
I wrote that in there just to say, like, I've seen you do a lot of I've seen you dunk a basketball. I've seen you pancake 1,000 dudes. The coolest thing I've ever seen you do is how far you hit that baseball. I just remember standing there and be like, holy cow.
It went over the lights. I'm like, I've never even
seen
it.
It went over the lights.
And softball, slow pitch softball.
Yeah, slow pitch
I think
softball.
that was like one of our first interactions, like with a bunch of us, because I remember AK and J-Vi coming. Was like, all right, we're building this team. We're going to be playing. Who was the guy that?
It was Holt. It was Holt. It was like a lot of
Holt.
Guys.
Yeah, it was like, all right, man, we're playing Holt. The linemen and stuff, man, we gotta get them. I was like, oh god, here we go.
We did.
The most impressive thing was y'all's buddy from your hometown in the outfield smoking a cigarette and not moving a muscle.
Oh, Claude.
Claude, I'm not getting that. I'm not doing that.
And like a routine fly ball would be there.
That's how it was all the time.
He'll be reeling it in, and then.
But yes, that game was during the season, but we did play in the championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I remember the championship, like all of us, like we thought we had this thing in the bag. So we're all hanging out at Holt's apartment before the game, and of course, just hanging out, dudes being dudes, and we show up to this game, and it's midday, and I remember laying out for a ball, laying out for a fly ball, and I missed it by like 15 feet. Like it was the most embarrassing thing I've ever done on an athletic field. But yeah, now it's coming back to me. You guys did win the championship, but that night, the night game when I hit the grand slam or whatever you want to call it, the moon ball, we definitely won that game.
That was an absolute moonshot. I'll never forget that. Crazy. Okay, football questions. This is where we get into it. Who wants to go first? J-Vibe, Tex?
I'll go. Right. So you went through all the quarterbacks you played for or played with, and everybody's got their own way of getting cadence going. Who had the best cadence?
I would
Here we
say
go.
the most consistent cadence would be Patrick Mahomes, because then, like with the Chiefs offense, they'll have about 7 different cadences that he can use, and it's all color based. And so, like in the Super Bowl, you'll wide 80, wide 80 cut, like that's just a normal on one. But when he goes blue 52, that's like he's like reading the defense, and he's not don't snap it on blue. But if he says yellow, that thing is live. You better be yellow. It's like like it's quick. He's probably the most consistent. But like the worst cadence quarterback was definitely Brian Hoyer. That guy, like holy cow, he'd be wide 80, set, easy. Like once you say set, man, we're going. Like we are going. He would get in there and say easy. I'm like, no, not easy. No, like I got Mayo from New England blitzing in the A gap. Like, no, we're not doing this. I'm snapping the ball. I don't care if you're ready or not. We're going.
Dude, that sounds like a fart that you're like, all right, I'm good. No, whoa. No, we're not.
Did you ever go back in the huddle and tell him, hey, man, what are you doing?
Oh, dude, that was a constant battle with Hoyer. And I love Brian. He I mean, I didn't realize he's still playing, but he is.
Well,
good for him.
Well, I mean, he's collecting checks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But no, they like the cadence is a huge part of it. It really is. And when you go silent count and having to either rely on your guard to tap your hip or look between your legs for the kick for the lifting of the leg by the quarterback, that's all just practice and timing, just with the center. So yeah, I would say Patrick, as long as they're consistent with how they handle their verbiage and it's all rhythmic, right? Like it's nothing. It's not white 80, it's wide 80, so it's
here we go.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Yeah. Idiot.
All right.
So I would say Patrick probably be number 1.
That's one of the things that I'm like, we always have a group chat going and we're just firing off fan messages, like cussing out the players. And I'm like, the intricacies of the games that we don't even really understand, like the cadence and how there's like 7 different cadences and all the stuff that goes into it. I know you and Maru have to be laughing your butts off whenever we're yelling at the game.
Well, we don't talk to you normally about this stuff. It's all just like
and that's totally cool. But like even with Mario, like I would say where Mario at the level that he's coaching at collegiately, like he deals with this stuff more than I obviously do. So like his knowledge base is going to be way more currently than I have. But when I was playing, it was funny to like I can't even stand a lot of times watching games with people just because like they get mad or whatever. And of course, I live in Tennessee, and Tennessee's fans are the worst.
Ooh, buddy.
They are terrible, and like every year feels like '98, right? And if they win by 21 points, they're like, well, they won, but man, we looked like they're just never happy. They're just always miserable. So like having to watch football with a lot of those people and have conversations that you don't really they don't understand the game. It's tough. And I'm trying to be nice here. I'm really trying to be nice. But it is frustrating at times, but like you definitely gotta see the whole picture or why they're doing certain things.
The game within the game.
I see what you're saying.
It is.
I'm still getting mad at Dak Prescott for stepping out on the 3-yard line when he's been playing football for almost 18 years.
Little different.
Texas, he's got 8-year-olds that don't do that.
No, dude, he was trying to score and he stepped out. That wasn't a business decision.
Yeah.
That was kind of my question is like, how does playing in the NFL change your fan? Because you used to be a big Green Bay dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
so
then,
my first NFL game was in college that I went to, and it was Green Bay. No, it was not Green Bay. It was Minnesota Vikings at Carolina. and I wore a Green Bay shirt because Brett Favre was on the Vikings. So that was my first NFL experience. And, being from the South, everybody talks about SEC. I wasn't growing up. I was not a Tennessee fan. I was actually a Florida State fan. And the only reason I was a Florida State fan was because that was been at the high school I went to. They were the Indians. We did the war chant. Florida State did it. And then my dad was a Green Bay fan. So I just tagged along. And, Brett Favre, they won the Super Bowl. Was it 96, 95, something like that. So I was a Green Bay fan. But yeah, being within playing 10 years and being around those guys and learning the game, you definitely have a different respect and perspective on it. And nowadays it's hard for me to watch college football. I love the business structure and how on Sundays, it's literally any given Sunday and one mistake can ruin the game. One drop pass, one turnover, one penalty. Whereas at college level, you could have 7 turnovers, miss 4 field goals, and still win, So, or still be in the game to win. But yeah, NFL, it's, I guess the cutthroat side of the NFL is attractive to me. So.
That was, you saw that in the NFC Championship game. Detroit made 2 mistakes, and then it was just onslaught from the 49ers.
The 2 drop passes that we, Java and I was by Reynolds. To me, that changed the entire game.
Man,
you pick up a first down and continue that drive, and that, the Lions win that game if he makes those catches.
Yeah, but in that second half, they did have the drop balls, but give Dan Campbell credit for not wavering from his identity. When a lot of dudes, and maybe it's just Dan Campbell's persona, the grit mentality that makes him a lot more attractive to fans. But staying true and going for it on those 4th downs. Now in those situations, it's the NFC Championship. Take the points, right?
See, that's where I'm at. Go for it.
You look at the stats of the field goal kicker.
Yep. Yeah, he wasn't great.
Even in
great.
the Green Bay game, even Coach LaFleur is every time our field goal kicker goes on the field, I say a prayer.
Yeah,
he's if you don't have the trust in your kicker, and you've been doing this all season long. And realistically, as an offensive lineman, you want it on your back. You want the opportunity to prove yourself. Maybe catch the ball a couple more times.
Maybe run it.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Everything was right in those situations. Everything was right. It's just
they didn't execute. Ball. They didn't execute.
I think it came down to a drop for it at the end of the second quarter before halftime when he kicked the field goal. I think he should have gone for that one and then kicked the first 4th down.
Yeah.
When they were driving.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
hey,
I agree.
That's why I'm an armchair coach and not, coaching the Detroit line.
And here's the thing too, there's such a big push with analytics now on the sideline, and teams are investing in analytics. And by percentages, we've gone for it on the 4th down more than anybody in the league, and we've got a really high conversion rate. So analytics guy might be telling them hey, we're good. They're playing soft coverage. They're playing cover 2. We're good in this situation.
Well, they had both of them,
and that's what they were saying about the one right before halftime. They're he's just a little bit too far, and I was well, that's the analytics telling them that the success rate at this distance is not as high as it would be if you're a half a yard forward, or something, just minute.
I just picture Dan Campbell just death staring the analytics guy with his dip teeth. I hate your guts.
He wanted to. Though.
I hate your guts right now, analytics guy.
Yeah. He was up and down the sideline though. He was about to do it.
And to give him credit again, even after the game, he took that blame. He's like, absolutely, like that's on me. We should have done this. And would he done it different? I think he would have done it different. But again, that's his persona. That's how they've made their money this year, and they stuck true to who they are. And I think that's part of his whole identity as far as the makeup of that team is the grit aspect. And you want your guys to go out there and fight for that extra yard or conversion of getting from fourth to first down, like put it in the guys' hands, your playmakers. So I can see where people are upset about it, but I think too you got to look at a deeper perspective too.
Yeah. Speaking of deeper perspectives, I'm going to ask another question.
Do it.
So as offensive lineman, or as a lineman in general, the psychology of going forwards, feeling like you're making progress with all the passing that's going on, lots of first steps are being taken backwards. Do you think that has an effect on offensive linemen moving backwards first rather than forwards?
I think there's, depending on the drops by the quarterback, either it's a 3-step drop where you can short set the defensive guys.
Well, I'm talking long term over the course of the game, always going backwards instead of running the ball and going forwards.
It definitely is, because I think the hardest position on the field is definitely defensive back, and those guys are just retrieving the whole time, right? They're just reacting to what the receivers are doing. So offensive linemen, I just think of like left tackles, like the whole time they're kicking back. You got like DeMarcus Ware or Nick Bosa out there, like
Max Crosby being a maniac coming off the edge.
Yeah.
That dude.
Yeah. So like, I mean, after a while, there's a point during the game, like you're just going through the motions, and your punch is not as good as it was in the first half, and like you're just wearing down, and you're just taking it. You're just getting in the way at this point.
Yeah. Instead of running the damn ball and going forward.
Running the ball and going forward, yeah. And here's the thing, like Detroit was running the ball so well that game.
Golly, yes, they were.
Them and Green Bay.
Monty.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Monty was getting it.
That always amazes me.
So, like, if you establish the run game as well as those two teams did against San Fran, and then have to, like, drop back and have to rely on pass protection to even get yourself into a position to winning the game, that's a whole momentum change too. That's a different mindset, because you went from an attacking mindset to punching the ball down the field to now you're retrieving.
You could be potentially being over your toes a bit, because
potentially, because I mean at that point you've established
unless you're Coach Prime
and no toes.
Almost no leg.
Almost.
God, dude.
Could help us.
Yeah. So,
shout out, Coach.
I mean, you
daggone made it personal.
Do you believe now?
You definitely can. You can play that card too. Like, just the mindset of like, okay, we're going forward. We're punching ball down their throats, and then now like you're dog tired, and you gotta. It's 3rd and 7 with a minute left to go, and you got Nick Bosa out here, or Chase Claypool, or whatever his name is.
Chase Claypool doesn't play defensive line.
What's his name?
Chase Young.
Chase Young, yeah.
Yeah.
You got that guy. So it's like,
if I had Chase Claypool going against me, I think I could win that offensive line battle.
That'd be pretty good. You might just throw the ball the whole game.
Look, I want to keep it. I want to keep it back to lightheartedness, because you played O-line for some pretty good quarterbacks. I mean, we've mentioned them: Mahomes, Alex Smith, Fitzpatrick. But who is the most electric, and why is it Armani?
Oh man, Armani is so electric. Why is Armani so electric? Is because when we were blocking for Armani, unless you're Mario Acatelli, you didn't know really what you were doing, or where Armani was at. For offensive linemen at App State from the years of 2006 to 12, like literally we had a red wristband and a blue wristband, and that was the play calls for us: run right or run left, and block the person in front of you. And Mario was the only one that knew like who he was blocking. We were just blocking the opposite color jersey. But Armani, he earned every bit of his rushing yards because it was like there was no creases for him. It was read zone for him, and like every pull that he had, he was still breaking tackles. He was getting hit
Ripping
almost every play.
Off.
He never. I don't remember Armani ever sliding.
No.
You know, like he was getting tackled.
No,
left and right.
You're right.
He's lowering his shoulder.
And as skinny and as small as he was then, I mean, he looks like he could play now. Like you feared for his health. Like you're just like, man, you're getting crushed right now. But like then he'll surprise you. You know, he's a lefty, and then he could throw the ball. Like he could really launch the ball. Like it was the year 2008 or 9 when we played Wofford at App for Halloween, and he threw the ball to Brian Quick. 2.
Yes.
That was Brian Quick's coming out party.
50 yards.
Are you kidding me? And then like you look at Armani, that home playoff game against Richmond, I think his freshman year. Holy cow.
Dude,
that was nuts.
7 total touchdowns that game.
Yeah, that was
4
that was
rushing.
NCAA.
I remember putting a thing up on Twitter, and I said, "This is not Lamar Jackson you're watching. This is Armani Edwards." And it's just him like busting 80-yard runs, running over people. Like it was insane. He was a quarterback that was like 10 years too early.
Oh yeah. You think about it right now. If the Panthers had the first overall pick and drafting Bryce Young last year, they would have definitely have drafted Armani and put him at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
instead of wide receiver.
I would say Armani is taller than Bryce without even looking at the stats. But yeah, I'd say you're right. I mean, that's the same build and everything. So yeah.
Speaking of Bryce Young, here's my newest hot take. Now, everybody knows I'm a Chief hater right now. When you play for the Chiefs-Bills rivalry wasn't as heated up as it is now
but you did lead for the most rushing yards
because you ran it down our throats when you played center against the Bills in Orchard Park. We all know that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Patrick Mahomes is a bad quarterback. I think he's great. I think he's one of the best in the game.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for putting that up.
Yeah.
But I do think part of his, greatness is Andy Reid.
100%.
So my question would be, if you switch Bryce Young and Patrick Mahomes, do either team make the playoffs? Does the Chiefs make the playoffs with Bryce Young at quarterback, and do the Panthers make the playoffs with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback? No other body changes, just those two guys.
I would say the Panthers win more games. And I would say Bryce Young probably has a higher completion percentage.
Because I
couldn't even tell you who was the head coach of Carolina. I'm blanking. But Andy Reid, man, you got to understand. Like Andy Reid has been around the game for so long.
He was Frank Wright.
Yeah, there you go. He's been around the game for so long and has had excellent quarterbacks. But just his system and his approach to the offense, and then when you throw in like the athletes and Kelsey and the creativity that the Chiefs have, like a lot of that does come from Patrick, but Coach Reid has the final say.
He took the Eagles to like 5 straight NFC championships.
Yeah.
That's where it confuses me, because it's like it was always Brady and Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not Mahomes and Reid; it's Mahomes and Kelsey.
Well, it is now. It is because
I don't think Reid gets the credit that he deserves.
Yeah, like you gotta. If they win this Super Bowl, they're in that conversation.
I hope he retires.
He's not going to. Yeah. But even you throw in, let's look at before Patrick got there, Alex Smith was the quarterback. And I think I honestly don't think. Well, I do think that Patrick Mahomes is not the quarterback that he is today. Had it not been sitting behind Alex Smith for that year.
Clip that.
Like, I think Alex Smith, and I've told Alex this, and I think I've told Pat this, having 1 year behind Alex Smith, just the day-to-day, how you conduct yourself and being the face of the franchise. And Alex knew, like, they drafted this young guy from Texas Tech. Like, he knew this kid was special. But how he conducted himself and handled that situation in San Fran, going to Kansas City, and still winning games in Kansas City, going to playoff games in Kansas City.
They were a playoff team.
Yeah, they were good. So seeing that professionalism from Alex really helped Pat out, I think. And now, obviously, Pat is who he is today, and his game is spectacular, and how he's able to extend plays and dissect defenses. But even more impressive when we would sit on those Wednesday and Thursday protection meetings with offensive line and quarterbacks, like Pat knew, like, all right, if they're showing us this makeshift 3-down look, I'll call out like 58. He's a down lineman to make it a 4-down line, and then he would do a mic call. Like, he was on top of blitzes. He would sit with Spag, the defense coordinator in Kansas City. Like, what are they doing here? How can we adjust and stop this? How are they disguising? Like, Pat is really cognitively really good at dissecting defenses too, and knowing where his outs, his hots are, and Kelsey's he's kind of a wild hair, because like sometimes he'll run his route, but then like he'll find a lane that he sees open, and Pat will see it too. Like, the way that they think is the same, and the way that they can connect.
Like whenever they 13 seconds to go.
Easy.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the one that they just did where Patrick was scrambling there and threw a duck.
Just
and Kelsey just dives out and catches it, and it was just an incredible catch. Picks up the first down, and at the post game, you hear Mahomes say, "Travis ran the wrong route, of course." And then so I was trying to run, and then just threw it up, and Travis did Travis.
Yeah, he made a play
and made a play.
Yeah, his ability to recover from that, but like, again, the basis all comes from Coach Reid, the offense and everything, and how it's structured. There's a lot more. I'll say this: there's a lot more creativity with Coach Reid's offense, and how the personnel that they change and how they can attack the defenses. Whereas, let's just say, just because of the Super Bowl, Kyle Shanahan's offense, Kyle Shanahan's offense, it's out. The basis of outside zone, and how Coach Shanahan coaches the outside zone. Like, running backs, you run. If that hole is not open, you go to the next one. Like, you don't just automatically cut back. You go see light, and then you mix that with the play action stuff. You mix it with the different motions and shifts with Kyle Juszczyk or Kittle, the orbits with Debo, keeping the defenses off balance and true, and being able to pick up any disguises they may have. Kyle does a really good job with that. And even then, Kyle, with his whole game plan, there's not a whole lot changes, well, at least for my year with Kyle, there wasn't a whole lot of halftime adjustments. It's like, we're going to do what we do. They're going to break it down a little bit. They're going to try something new, but we're staying true to our game plan, and the holes will be there. So they're both just really good offensive-minded guys, and I think the Super Bowl is going to be really a tell sign of two great head coaches, offensive-minded head coaches, one really great quarterback, one who's on the upswing of things.
Preach it, dude. Preach it. Tell us.
It's going to be awesome. But, like,
two good defenses, too.
Steve Wilkes turned the game around.
We'll talk about that. But, like, to your point, Bryce Young would definitely excel in either Kyle Shanahan or Andy Reid's offense. He really would. He's getting bashed on right now because he's a number 1 overall draft pick and all that. He's
He doesn't have an
180
O-line.
pounds.
They have nothing.
Exactly. They had nothing. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
That's what I was. I mean, I saw him make some throws that are like, okay,
Like-
he can play. I mean,
oh yeah.
Well,
you
and they
get-
were on like, oh, they missed on C.J. Stroud. Like, if you put C.J. Stroud on the Panthers, it
He's not gonna
doesn't
do this-
look much different.
No.
I agree. I agree with
Yeah.
that. It doesn't look different.
I don't think the Texans win as many games with Bryce Young, but if C.J. Stroud's on the Panthers, it doesn't look much different.
Yeah. And both those guys can play, man.
Yeah,
There's a
they're
reason
the
why
NFL.
they pay these scouts all the money to go to Mobile this week, the Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl, and watch these guys and dissect every film clip. Like they know who they're going to draft, and they know the type of guy they are. These guys can play, and
Yes.
so
These guys are good.
It's got to be the right fit. You know, it really does, and then all based on the system too. So
Here's a question from the audience. Vimo.
Could you read that on your end?
yeah, what's my take? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, EB is not a head coach. He's the man. He really is. He could very well be a head coach. I don't know if EB. I know he wants to be a head coach, but like, if the good is, I mean, if he's good where he's at, do you really want the pressure? Like, you know, do you want to, or maybe he's still working on something. Like he's definitely interviewed for head coaching jobs, obviously, and maybe he doesn't interview well. Who knows? Maybe his persona may come off a little intimidating to some of these owners or GMs because he is a truth teller. He expects a lot out of his players, and he doesn't shy away from telling people what they don't want to hear, but they need to hear. So that might rub people the wrong way, but consistently with the right pieces, I mean, you look at his history. I mean, he's very successful as a play caller, and I would have the full confidence of him being a head coach for sure.
It's crazy. You see these coordinators staying where they're at. Johnson in Detroit and Slowick in Houston. Crazy.
Yeah, and you know, Johnson and Slowick all come from the Shanahan tree in Washington.
Interesting.
It's crazy. Like that whole tree, if you look at the staff that was in Washington, you got Kyle, LaFleur, McDaniel,
McVay,
the Rams head coach,
McVay.
Yeah, and then the defensive coach that just got hired recently,
McDonald.
No, Morris.
Yes, Morris.
Raheem Morris.
Yeah, you look at those guys, like they all come from the Shanahan, and then the coordinators, and like they're young guys, like they've got tons of years ahead of them.
Half the league is from these two guys' tree.
Yeah, you're Houston. I'm drawing blank. Coach, he's
D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah, D'Amico Ryans from Shanahan.
Yeah, so D'Amico, when he retired, my last year in San Fran was his first year coaching, and like he was all world Alabama, went to Houston. Texans absolutely loved D'Amico. He comes to San Fran as this like a defensive assistant, just learning the game, running to the copier, getting people's copies and whatnot, and worked his way up to defense coordinator with the Niners and now the head coach with the Texans. And I'm not a big, like, huge fan of defensive-minded head coaches just naturally because I'm an offensive lineman. But, man, you just look at the way he built that staff and given Slowick, a 36-year-old who came from the same staff that D'Amico was on in San Fran, gave one of his coworkers a pay upgrade, a different title change, having the faith in him, like that's coming from Shanahan Tree. That's awesome.
They were cooking, dude. They cooked Cleveland,
dude.
They cooked Cleveland.
And here's the thing: I was picking Cleveland. I did, and obviously it didn't come out, but they had their number the whole game. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Questions?
That was crazy.
Text anymore?
Let's move on to the next section.
Let's get to the Super Bowl.
Let's get to the Super Bowl. Let's do the Super Bowl right now. What do you think? Tex, registrar.
I've already told you. Niners.
No, not. I was asking if you wanted to move on to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I just said let's move on to the next section.
Okay.
Golly.
Jeez, dude.
No, let's do the Reid or Shanahan game.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Reid or Shanahan? Who would you rather sit beside on a bus?
Shanahan. Look at the size of Coach Reid.
Next one.
Which playbook was most center friendly?
Ooh.
Say that again.
Which playbook was most center friendly?
I would say Coach Reid. Coach Reid.
Departing words from Shanahan versus welcoming words from Reid.
Oh man, that's tough.
Did you get a see red think Super Bowls text from Reid?
Listen, you got to preface this. So for the listeners or the watchers out there, I spent 7 years in San Francisco. I signed my 4th contract extension with the Niners. 2 weeks later, I was traded.
Or stay my
and
life.
I was traded, and they were like, we hate that this is happening. Where would you like to be traded? They gave me the opportunity to choose, and I was tired of paying California taxes, and so I was like, send me somewhere that I'm not going to pay taxes. And like,
wait, whoa! What were your options?
Oh, I'm getting.
I don't think you've ever told us this.
I'm getting that. So I was like, Pouncey was going to the Chargers. I was like, Miami sounds fun. Let's go. My brother-in-law is a huge Dolphins fan. I was like, let's go to Miami. And so Chris Greer, the GM down there, and everybody welcomed me. And it was an awesome experience in Miami as far as being a 2-time team captain and stuff, being with Adam Gase 1 year and Brian Flores. But the phone conversation with Kyle, let's just say it did not go well. And I would not like for your listeners to hear that phone call. And with John Lynch too, and I have so much respect for both of them. And at the time, I had already poured in so much into the organization with 49ers, friends with the owners. Here's this new crew coming in. I was a starter, and then all of a sudden, no more. And to sit with Kyle after our last game in his office, he's like, "We're gonna get this done. Don't worry about it. We'll get the new contract." And then a month later, get traded. It was heartbreaking. And Megan she was pregnant with Carson. We had the doctor lined up. Everything everything's set. We were basically, our whole life was in California except for what we had here in Tennessee. So that phone conversation was tough.
Well, you're a loyal person too.
Very, very, yeah. I was out there and I didn't want to leave. But it was a different situation in Miami. I was kind of over the tank for Tua. So I was like, when they said we're not gonna pick up your 3rd-year option, I was like, cool, all right, whatever. But when they gave me the option where I wanted to be traded, I still kick myself on this. It was Miami, Cleveland, and Kansas City. And that year, my first year, Kansas City beat San Francisco in the Super Bowl.
Oh man,
gosh.
Dude,
that would have been a revenge game.
I was
Big
at
revenge.
I was
Imagine
at
the shots you'd have gotten on the sidelines of you,
dude. Well, I was at an NFC game party watching the game, and dude, I held it in, but my mother-in-law, she drove me home, and dude, I got in the car, and I just cried. I could not believe it. And then, of course, the Super Bowl, I didn't go anywhere for the Super Bowl. I sat in my house watch this. I didn't watch it with anybody, and I was so angry at the whole situation. I was naturally just pulling for the Chiefs, and which I shouldn't have been that way. I spent 7 great years in San Fran. I shouldn't have been that way, but I had anger, and it sucked in Miami as far as winning. So here's the 2 teams I had the opportunity to win games and possibly win a Super Bowl. But then I think about it too, like had I been in San Francisco, we could have won that game. Or had I gone to Kansas City, we could have lost that game too. So it doesn't matter, like it is what it is at the end of the day. But when I went to Kansas City that year, my last year, my 10th year, it was 2020, COVID. My second daughter had just been born. I was here in Tennessee. Cleveland called again. Kansas City called again. And then I turned down Kansas City 3 times. I'm like, I don't want to do this. But with the COVID rules, they allowed for extra players on the roster. And so Coach Reid picked up the phone and he called me. He's like, listen, we want you to come be a part of this team. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. We've got a damn good team. We want you to be a part of it. Come and be here. I was like, great. But, Coach, I don't want to do a conditioning test. I don't want to do training camp. And by the grace of God, I go to Kansas City, and the first 3 days I had to quarantine in the hotel before I could even go into the facility to do my physical. And I get to Kansas City, I do my physical. They hook me up to the EKG. And this is where my heart stuff came into effect. And they was like, are you on steroids? I'm like, no. I'm like, what? Absolutely not. It was like, you have like a flutter going on. So they had just finished preseason. And then I had heart surgery, a cardiac ablation done on Friday before week 1. And per my contract, I was going to dress for every game. And so we played San Diego or the Chargers that first week in 2020. And they told me not to even take my helmet out. I'm going to dress, but I'm not going to play. And so, like, we played on that Thursday, and I went out there and stood on the sideline. And I just had heart surgery. I was on blood thinners for 2 days. Walgreens wasn't even going to fulfill my prescription because it was like, this is not a real prescription. I'm like, I promise you it is. Like, give me these blood thinners. But yeah, it was just wild. But like, yeah, the sea of red and like they had just won the Super Bowl. Like I was out there when they got their Super Bowl rings. So that was like, okay, this is cool. And then you start playing with them. And like 4 weeks into the season, I'm feeling really good. Heart's good. Everything's good. And they're like, okay, you're going to start now. I'm like, whoa, what? I didn't sign up for this. And then we go up to Buffalo, and we did what we did in Buffalo. And, I started 5 games that year and had another opportunity at the Super Bowl. And that was, of course, the whole Super Bowl experience that year with COVID, with my half haircut and the barber.
Saving the lives.
And I knew that was going to be my last game, right? Like I knew going in, this is it. I'm done. Like I set a goal for 10 years. That's remarkable. Way more than I'd ever imagined.
Yep.
And didn't practice that whole week because of the close contact for COVID. And then eventually getting to go and play in the Super Bowl was a great experience. But then, having my family.
Yep.
Let it out.
Love you, dog.
We're family here.
Yeah. Having you guys do the videos and having my family there, that was really, really cool to be able to, even though we didn't win, man, I won. I won in the fact that, I could walk away from the game and hold my head up high. So it was awesome.
That was awesome. It was always just, yes, you got drafted by it, but I don't know. It's weird having one of your boys play, and no matter what, you're rooting for him. You're watching all the games. You're glued to the TV and just being like, man, I'm so happy for that dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a cool thing. Like,
yeah. And it really was. It was neat because when all you guys did a video and having my agency put that video together and Megan coordinating with you guys and my parents and everybody involved, like that was like it was you guys. That was like, that was my
Cox.
rock,
Cox in his jersey.
Yeah. that was a perfect time. Rock and Cox. Having Cox with his jersey. He still didn't get it in the mail, but just having that
still in the mail though.
Yeah, and watching
just like that ball still flying.
Yeah, watching that video on the way to the stadium and like, this is how the script. This is how it's written for my life and my career, and I wouldn't want to go out. I would love to win that game, but like on the opposite sideline, I had Gabbert, Ted Larson, AQ, a bunch of buddies on Tampa's sideline that, I was happy for them too. So, but no, it was a great experience, and I'm grateful that the Chiefs even stuck with me after they found the little heart deal and rolled with me.
That's always, that's as much as everybody's like, we hate the Chiefs. I'm like, well, I don't really hate them.
They're pretty good, man.
I hate them.
Good. I got a great. How about this? So when I think it was 2016 for the draft. This is a little. I seen this. Who's the draft guy who always sits at the desk with
Mel Kiper?
Mel Kiper. He just gave this hot take the other day. He said in 2016 the Chiefs were going to move up in the draft and take Paxton Lynch. You believe that? And they couldn't make the move up. So in that second round, they took Chris Jones. And had they moved up, they wouldn't have had that next year first round draft pick, which was Patrick Mahomes.
They traded Buffalo traded their pick to Kansas City for them to get Mahomes.
Yeah. There you go.
Dude, speaking
wait a minute, J-Bar. Are you saying you wished?
Whoa!
I didn't say I wished.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that I wished we had him. I'm saying the Bills traded that pick and gave their arch rival, their newly crowned arch rival, Patrick Mahomes.
Just to be clear.
So what you're really saying,
what's two Bills drives
is that you're living vicariously through Mahomes' win.
Wow.
Because you think they should be Bills.
No, dude, that guy's a bully. Picks on kickers.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Listen, that is. Can we do the how dare you?
Yes.
How dare you?
Hey, I just want to say the draft day was probably one of the greatest days I've ever been a part of in my life.
Was it not?
Oh my gosh,
that was the
dude.
best. And it had to be your team.
Yes.
I got a quick story about draft day, not like post draft. So 2018, I did that doc with Michigan and Harbaugh. Mm-hmm. And one day it was just me and Harbaugh sitting there. I was like, I got to tell you, I'm really good friends with Daniel Kilgore. And he goes, oh, Danny Kilgore? He goes, I love him. He goes, yeah, we still laugh about, making that phone call to him. And I couldn't hardly hear him because of how loud it was in the background. And I was like, yeah, that was. He goes, oh, you were there? And I was like, yeah. It's like he's one of our best friends. It was just funny because he talked about how loud it was.
And the best was when Trey had the video camera, like the old 80s. He was documenting everything, and we knew that if I was to be drafted, it was going to be that third day, and give a shout out to Mike Eggers to open up his home to us and letting us crash at his place. And Like just being able to be drafted and having you guys there, like it was so much. It was so important for you guys. Like even my mom and dad was there, but nobody else really showed up. Like even my roommates, like Boomer and Ferg, didn't show up until after I did get drafted. They was like, "Oh, you really got drafted?" I was like, "Yeah."
We weren't missing that thing.
No, but like you think about that, we had 3 dudes drafted: Mark Legree, DJ Smith, and myself. Is that not? That's a crazy.
That was before all this. Man, I'll never. Dude, when it came in, the pick has been traded.
From
I was sitting there and I
Green
saw
Bay.
the phone ring and I was like,
from Green Bay.
And I remember, go get him. And I'm like, go get who? What am I doing? Go get him. I'm like, all right, let me go get him. And then you went off and you came back and you pointed and I was like, and I just took off. I was doing laps around the house. I had my Garrison Hurst jersey on, cargo shorts.
Oh, your
my
Air
God.
Force Ones.
Remember when we went out to party, we left AK there because he was still crying because he was so happy that you got drafted by the Niners.
Yeah,
right. We can't take you out like
trying
this.
to console him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the how dare yous.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Do you have the thing?
Dare you? How dare you?
How dare me? How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you, sir? You're gross.
How dare you?
How dare yous, ladies and gentlemen. We've got, this is basically where we take anything from the week that just really irritated us and we just yell into our microphones about how dare you, and everybody agrees with us. So who wants to go first? Tex, Butch, J-Vi?
I'll go. Mine is
I'll be right back.
How dare you to LeBron James, the king of flops, the floppy McFlopperson of all floppies, the floppy disk himself, LeBron James flopping like a dude straight try to rip his face off and flopping on the ground there. I realize they got history, but dude, come on. You're 6'8", a freak of nature athlete. What are you doing? Flopping on the ground for a love tap in a hockey game.
Hockey game?
Yeah. You didn't see the clip?
No.
Where him and his Brooks dude got into a kerfuffle?
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
And he's a LeBron agitator. And LeBron flopped on the ground like that chick from Iowa.
Oh, Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
I'll go next.
Not the floppy LeBron.
My how dare you goes out to Rory McIlroy doing a complete 180 on his opinion on live golfers and what they being allowed to play in the PGA Tour again. Dude, have some cojones about you, bro. If you got an opinion, stay true to your opinion. Don't go run and hide when the organization you're playing for completely turns their back on you and it takes live money. But dude, how dare you, Rory McIlroy?
Yeah, be Dan Campbell in this situation.
Run the ball and go for the ball.
He's going to live.
Yeah, well, I agree with that, Butch. I agree.
Yeah.
Before it's all said and done, he's playing on live.
Rory McIlroy.
Dude, I want to how dare us. We're doing Brother's Day.
Yes.
This year.
We have to.
I think we do it Bristol weekend.
Ooh.
The race? You still got the Wanabango?
I do not.
Do that.
But we can definitely. I live like 5 miles from the track.
Okay. Get a Gus bus?
We could walk there.
Get a Gus bus again.
Yes.
Gus bus. Yeah.
I'll call Pruitt. He'll come over from Memphis.
That dude ruined everything for me. Now every time I go somewhere, I'm like looking on my phone. I'm like, oh, how much is the party bus?
little Mark Cohn and walking in Memphis.
Yeah. I have a how dare you.
Do it.
So Megan has took up sourdough bread and baking
nice.
sourdough bread. Like
Yep.
anything sourdough.
Oh, we
Toast,
love sourdough.
sandwich bread,
Mm.
cinnamon rolls. I've sent you guys some pictures.
Cinnamon rolls.
But
Oh, yeah. Those look.
how dare you algorithm on my phone, Instagram, all you homestead moms, freaking my IG is nothing but sourdough bread now.
I'm gonna change your name of my phone to Sourdough King.
Sourdough Sam, let's go, baby.
Sourdough Saturdays.
Sourdough,
Oh
dude.
my God.
Like literally every time I pick up my Instagram, it's like some homestead mom stays at home with all her chickens and like lives this perfect little quaint New England life with cobblestone wall around her house, and she's making sourdough. And I was like, no, that's not real life. Like this is dumb. But
Serving
yeah,
up sourdoughs for the community.
the Instagram algorithms, how dare you?
I'm gonna how dare you my Samsung TV. I don't know when this started, but all of a sudden, every time I cut my Samsung TV on, it goes to Samsung TV, like the free streaming. When did that happen, Samsung? At least give me a heads up. That's a fireable offense, as far as I'm concerned. I'm about to switch to LG or TLC or whatever that.
No, I have LG and it does the same thing.
Vizio.
I mean,
It takes me to a whole new menu when I turn it on.
What is that?
I don't know.
Freaking Steve Jobs from the parking lot down there. Algorithm my thing. It's absurd. How dare you? Will Smith. I have to call Will Smith to come save my house.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right, sorry. I just quickly, what do you think about the Super Bowl?
What do I think? I think.
And why is Brock Purdy?
I think it's going to come down to the field goal kickers. Honestly, I think it's going to be such. It's
going
to be a close game. You mentioned San Francisco's defense. Like Kansas City's offensive line is going to have to be on top of their game. The tackles are not going to be able to get by with their false starts and all that stuff. Like they're going to have to lock down those edges. Pat's going to do his thing. What worries me for the 49ers defense is that they run a lot of zone defense. And I think if Jared Goff can pick you apart, Patrick Mahomes is a different story. Now, the receivers are going to have to catch the ball. They've struggled with that all year long. They're going to have to catch the ball. But in the back end of things, Kansas City, their defense line is good. Chris Jones is a maniac. But are they going to be able to stop the rushing game by McCaffrey? And that's going to be tough. That's a tall order. And being able to – and having Debo back fully healthy and watching what he did his rookie year in the first Super Bowl against these two teams, and then you throw Kittle in the mix, like it's going to be hard for Kansas City too. So it's going to be an even close game, and I think it's going to come down again to the turnovers, protecting the ball, and then also coming down to the field goal kickers, special teams.
That sucks. Moody's a liability out there.
He is.
Yeah. I think the 49ers defensive back, the corners are better than people think. I think where they can get them is the safeties. Deshaun Gibson's not a cover dude, and they're starting a rookie named Jair Brown, who sometimes look lost, but he's getting better.
Yeah.
Yes. But I think.
I mean, if you remember back to the first game, though, like I know it was a called play, but the way it looks almost is what really got the Chiefs going was like a heave to Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They don't have that type of speed anymore to, get a momentum play like that.
Yeah, and that worries me too, honestly. And I watched the recap of the highlights of that Super Bowl, and Tyreek, he was a force in that game. But even then, like their rushing game was pretty good. So San Francisco's going to have to stop the rushing game. Pacheco.
It's going to be. He's a different back than Gibbs. He's a different back than Gibbs and Jones, though. Gibbs and Jones are twitchy. Pacheco's just high knees.
Tasmanian devil.
Looking like me walking over Legos in my house.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah. But I don't. What do you think of Brock? Brock Purdy. Come on, dude.
Okay.
No, I have
We
to.
can talk, we can talk about this after the
Last
show.
one. No, I want it on the record.
I think Brock is a very talented quarterback.
Thank you.
I think Kyle's offense
No.
does allow talented quarterbacks to have success with the play actions. But he still has to make the throws, right? He still has to manage the game. He still has to get the ball to Debo, to Kittle, and he can do that. He's proven that he can make those throws. But like he's got to be able to extend the plays and
that's something they haven't had.
Get to his checkdowns really quick because Chris Jones, I'm telling you, man, he's a different animal. And when the spotlight's on, he'll turn it up.
Yep.
And that whole defense front, they got a couple of white boys on that defense line. You know, high motor, limited athletically, knows the game well. Just the persona of a white defensive lineman, like they get after it. So, yeah, it's going to be Purdy's going to have to have a day, really. And I think I'm looking for a big game out of Debo. I think he's going to go off.
Yes.
Play Debo in your DraftKings lineup.
Well,
You heard it here.
I think rushing against the Chiefs is kind of their Achilles heel anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And with McCaffrey right there,
And Debo.
I know, and Debo, but McCaffrey at any given point of the game can bust it for a touchdown.
Yeah.
With his balance and just he is a awesome running back.
Yeah. He really is. He's so good out of the backfield too that he's able to get down the field. I think what's underrated for both of these offenses is the screen game. Like Coach Reid is such a big screen guy. Once you get into that high red zone, like he loves screens. And I think having McCaffrey doing screens like that and getting him in space one-on-one with defensive backs. And Chiefs have really good defensive backs. They probably have the two best defensive backs in the league.
But that's not how the 49ers get you.
So it's I think you'll see a little bit more screens and kind of, especially with like Kansas City, with how their like bunch set their trips look, the perimeter screens, not doing the screens around Fred Warner because you know how crazy he is and how he can run down and chase down a cheetah. I think they're going to open it up that way too. So, do you want me to pick? Do you want me to pick a winner?
Yes, pick it right now.
Just based off the experience and been there and done that, I'm going to roll with the Chiefs. But
show's over.
At the same time, Kyle is due. He's got the offensive weapons. Their defense is outstanding. The 49ers, I would not be surprised if they go out and they just steamroll. That's
what I'm talking about.
Surprised. So,
that's what I'm talking about.
I mean, it's going to be. It's such a. I would say it's even more matchup now than it was in like 3 years ago or whenever that was, 4 years ago.
Yes.
So that's my take.
Man, thanks for going on, dude. This was fun.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, it was a lot
Thanks
of fun.
for the 100th episode. How dare y'all wait till 100?
Oh
God, don't even.
Yeah, we tried to get you on 67, but you turned us down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And our last DraftKings contest worth 20 points, so maybe I can win.
Yeah.
The
All right.
winner takes all.
Follow us on YouTube, Rumble, The Millie Goats, Twitter @MillieGoats, Instagram @The Millie Goats, website and blog, MillieGoats.GoDaddySites.com. Subscribe to the show, rate the show. I don't know if follow Kilgore on Instagram if you bake sourdough in
Go Bills.
Go Niners.
Them boys.